Hi there, everyone, and it's currently the 28th of July 2012, and Rob here with your Western Pacific Weather Weekend weather update, and we are concentrating on our tropical system here. It is now Tropical Storm Saola just towards the east of the Philippines. We have been watching this for quite some time now, all week, mainly because of the strong potential of development with this storm system. You have all of this moisture coming in all the way from nearly Vietnam, pulling off towards the east around Palau as well. Very strong inflow, and already this has caused 2 deaths in the Philippines due to river levels continuing to rise here as water levels continue to fall across this area. So this is what we're going to be talking about. I also want to quickly touch on our tropical depression just towards the east of the Osagara Islands. This is going to be pushing off towards the west. I expect this to remain relatively weak. There is an abundant amount of dry air right in here. Also wind shear very well could slowly track towards the west, but I really don't see anything significant coming out of this area. I do think it's going to remain disorganized, but we always could get surprised and see if something comes out of it. But let's talk about our tropical storm Saola down here. First, let's take a look at the radar imagery coming out of the Philippines. And I have to say, it is spotty at best, but it does show you some thunderstorms blowing up here just south of Manila. Also have some way off there towards the south, even around up Visayas here. You're also getting some thunderstorm activity. But more importantly, let's take a look at the satellite imagery out of Southeast Asia here. This is the infrared / visual imagery. That's why it's kind of changing slightly in the looks, because it's going from measuring the temperatures of the clouds to actually seeing the clouds during the daytime here. And really you can see that enhancement of that monsoonal flow rushing across the Philippines. That's where those thunderstorm activity is. But also, more importantly, you can see that center of circulation right in here. And it's starting to consolidate, become much more organized. Wind shear across this region is actually relatively low as well, as shown here by showing the infrared water vapor differential. But let's overlay that shear analysis, and you can see it about 10 to 15 knots directly over the center of circulation of this storm system. A little bit high up there towards the north, about 30 knots. That's why you're not seeing very much cloud cover right in this area, because all of it's kind of being knocked off. But also seeing very low down here across the central Philippines, thus that monsoonal moisture really being uplifted and allowing to develop. As this continues to track off there towards the northwest, so I expect this shear to start to ease off a little bit there and towards the north, and thus some further intensification very well could be likely as it does continue to move into that direction. Also, one thing though it does not really have to fight too much here is dry air advection, or dry air inflow off towards the north. Moisture is kind of abundance here, especially across Taiwan. You see some clouds popping up there. Definitely of abundance down there towards the south. That's one thing we often talk about, as what we just mentioned about that other tropical system off towards Iwoto, and it's fighting off all of this dry air. Well, this one, on the flip side though, does have lots of moisture to take in here, allowing it to further intensify. And also talking about moisture and basically energy for the storm to develop, the sea surface temperatures here are above average, about 2 to 3 degrees right where this system is currently located. So it's going to be having that much more latent heat for further intensification. So let's take a look at some of the official warnings, starting with Pagasa here. Now, good news for everybody in the Philippines. Expect this to stay offshore. And not really expecting actually a landfall, and does continue tracking off there towards the north. But as I've been saying for nearly a week now, remember we have that cyclonic circulation. It is going to continue to pull moisture out of the South China Sea. Do expect further flooding and even landslides. I would not be surprised at all. And also, have been seeing some reports here. Thank you very much for people who've been sharing your information onto the live updates. Some reports, though, across Visayas of landslides already occurring. So very dangerous conditions indeed, even though the storm is not making landfall. And then here is JMA's outlook on this storm. They do expect it to kind of wander here, move off towards the north, wave back and forth, and then bust out towards Taiwan. This is actually really in the same sense of what JTWC is saying, and also many of the models eventually making it off towards Taiwan and staying offshore of the Philippines, while intensifying as it does so. Actually, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center by the 31st does expect this to become a typhoon. I really do think that is very likely, even sooner than that from my personal standpoint, given the amount of heat this is over and the amount of moisture inflow. I do think there is a risk of some rapid intensification. So very likely could see a typhoon afternoon here as it does continue to track off, maybe on the 29th going into the 30th, but definitely by the 31st very well could be a very strong system. Do want to remind everybody though, all the way from the northern portions of Luzon, a little bit smaller cone now, but all the way out there towards Okinawa. I know yesterday I was talking about possibly all the way from or at least mainland Japan, right around Kyoto here, all the way down towards Versailles as well. That cone definitely is a lot smaller now, more like around Luzon, off towards Okinawa. Like I said though, you get much more of a clear indication of where these storms are going to be going once you see where that center of circulation has organized. So one thing that we use to judge on that, where it's going to be going, that is this product right here, one of my more favorite products actually. You can see the overall background flow, and that's where storm systems are going to want to run. Basically following this track and then heading off towards Taiwan, eventually off there towards the north. That's where a lot of the models are kind of indicating at it seems very likely that this is going to be the exact case. So definitely going to be watching the storm system. I do want to give a strong good luck out there to James Reynolds. I know he's going to be wanting to try to chase this likely over towards Taiwan. That's where my recommendations would be at this time, probably around the central portions of the country. But still, we have about 5 days to go. Lots of different things could happen here to change the storm track, so definitely going to be watching this very, very close. But that is all for right now, everybody. Thanks again for watching here at westernpacificweather.com. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please post them in the comment box below. And also, just to remind you, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Robert Speta, or you can also follow the website at Western Pacific Weather. And plus, we have our interactive live update currently up here for our tropical storm. And really, if you are here anywhere across the Philippines and you have current reports, photos, or videos of the storm system affecting you, please do share them with us so we can share them out to the world and make basically warning on the storm that much better and that much easier to do. But also, I do want to strongly stress we are not an official warning agency at all. Pagasa here in the Philippines is the official one for you, and also the official storm tracking agency out here in the Western Pacific for tropical cyclones is the Japan Meteorological Agency. So thanks again though and for watching, and please stay safe out there. Have a great day. Bye.